In the last episode, I told you about an accident I had while we were on a family vacation. And I told you that I was submitting the claim to our travel insurance company and that I would tell you the results. So today, here they are. Welcome back to My Travel Window, where we help you travel as long as you can, as far as you can, while you still can. And today I'm going to tell you about our travel insurance, which is with Allianz. I'm not going to try and convince you to use travel insurance. There is no credible advisor out there that I'm aware of who will advise people, particularly seniors, not to have travel insurance when traveling outside the United States. The question is, which travel insurance and how well do they work? So, in the last 5 years, we've made 15 trips of a week or more. And the majority of those have been outside the United States. In fact, we've spent 9 months outside United States territory. And so a lot can happen over that span of time in that many different places. So over that entire span of times, we've used travel insurance twice. And I'm going to tell you the story of each one. When we first started 5 years ago, we bought travel insurance for each individual trip. If we were going on a cruise, we sometimes used the cruise travel insurance. Sometimes we bought it from a general agent like Generali. And then for the last 3 years, we have started to buy annual travel insurance. So what this is a price you pay once for the entire year that covers a set limit for the year. And if you don't use it, then effectively it rolls over to the next trip for that year. And for us, it turns out to be a much more practical way to buy travel insurance. So here's my two experiences. The first one was on a Norwegian cruise. We were on a back-to-back-to-back Norwegian cruise, and the third leg of the trip was a transatlantic, and I got pneumonia. So I wound up going to the ship's infirmary and having treatment for that pneumonia. The bill was approximately $3,100, of which roughly $1,000 for medical services, $1,000 for tests, and $1,000 for drugs. Our insurance covered the majority of the physician services and the tests. What it didn't cover was the drugs. And so this is an advice to you. Any of you out there who are seniors, any plan that is approved by the U.S. government will not allow you to get drugs in any other country. So we wound up having to submit all of those to the insurance that we had at the time, which was Generali. To Generali's credit, they paid the entire amount. Our primary insurance paid about $2,100 of the bill, and Generali paid the final $1,000. While that was a wonderful experience, it was a nightmare in terms of submitting the claims. And it was primarily because when I went on the cruise ship, what they handed me was a piece of paper that had all of the drugs listed. Here's a drug we submitted, and here's the price, in doctor's handwriting. So I didn't take the time to figure out what actually all those numbers were until I got home and realized I couldn't make the prices add up. I could not figure out how to submit this. And it took a very long time for me to get all the information, put it together, but Generali paid it, and paid it in a reasonable amount of time. Then we switched. The most common company doing annual travel insurance is Allianz. We're in our third year of using this insurance, but this is the first time we've made a claim. Now, we bought Allianz because we intended to travel overseas. We had not envisioned it being used for a trip within the United States. But since it was an annual plan, and since we made the trip, and something happened to me, I decided to submit the claim. For those of you who want the fast conclusion, here it is. Allianz paid the entire amount of our copays and deductibles, approximately $1,500 for the time that we were in Colorado. And they paid it within about 3 weeks. What we had to do is submit information on the amount that we were due. They came back and asked a second set of questions. We had to show, for example, that we were on a trip, so we had to show the itinerary and the fact that we had plane tickets to and from. And we had to show some medical records to show a doctor story of what actually happened in the situation. And we had to show that we had actually been billed for these services by providers. So let me talk you through the claims submission process. During this whole time, I never talked to anyone from Allianz. I didn't speak to any customer service person. I went on to their website, said, I'm interested in filing a claim. It took me to a spot, said, what kind of claim would you like to file? I went there, it said, here's the documents you need. Do you want to upload them? I uploaded them. From the day that I uploaded the file until the money was in my account was 22 days. So I submitted it. As soon as I submitted it, they said, we've received it, are working on it. And then they sent me a note and said, here's additional information that we need. And so I went out and fairly quickly responded to their message and said, here's the information you asked for. And they returned it and said, here's the whole payment. And it was everything that I asked for in the claim. So I couldn't be more pleased with the Allianz claims processing system. There's a lot of detail to it because there's a lot of detail involved in the situation. But I think it was well done, and I'm extremely pleased with the result. And no, Allianz did not endorse or pay for this anyway. They don't know I'm doing this. So that's my unsolicited endorsement of Allianz in my one experience. If you want to know more about travel insurance and why to get it, here's a video that I did on that topic. Watch this next. Until next time, safe travels.